This video is brought to you by AudioQuest, makers of the Dragonfly range of USB DACs. Click to AudioQuest.com for more information.
In pretty much every video we make inside this house, you'll see evidence of Roon streaming. Roon is a streaming system so that I can play music from Tidal, from Qobuz, and also from a hard drive which is attached to my Roon server. It's over there. Now I have a bespoke server made by Roon themselves. It's called the Nucleus, and it runs something called Roon Core. The core is what Roon call their server software. Now you don't have to buy a Nucleus, and we've shown in a previous video how you can build your own Roon Core on an Intel NUC and do it for far, far less than the Nucleus sells for. You can even run Roon Core on an old Mac or an old PC. And that hard drive that's attached to my Nucleus, it contains CD rips and downloads that I've collected over the years, many of which are not available on Tidal or Qobuz or Spotify or Apple Music. So for example, I've got a really good vinyl rip of the Future Sound of London's debut album, Accelerator. On there I also have the original master of There's Mind Bomb, which is no longer available on streaming services, I don't think. I've also got some albums by Goodbye Mr. Mackenzie, which are not on streaming services. Some albums by American Music Club, specifically United Kingdom, not on streaming services. And also an album by the KLF called Chill Out. I've got a CD rip of that. That is not on streaming service anymore. I've got literally hundreds of albums on that Nucleus over there, well, on the hard drive attached to it, that are not available on streaming services. So I use Tidal, Qobuz and that hard drive full of songs in tandem with Roon to stream content around my house. So maybe to a Roon endpoint in the hi-fi rack beside me here, or to a Roon endpoint in the kitchen, or to a Roon endpoint upstairs in my bedroom. Endpoint means a device that plays catch on the stream, then sends it into an amplifier or pair of streaming active loudspeakers. So there are many ways I can stream Roon at home. In fact, in many of these videos, you see me using a TV remote app on my Apple TV that displays Roon on my Samsung frame in a really big way, and I love that. So yeah, there's quite a lot of evidence in these videos that I use Roon all the time, but it's very much rooted at home. Well, it was until last week, because the Roon 2.0 update brought with it a second mobile phone app called Roon ARC. Now ARC allows us to stream from Tidal, from Qobuz, from the hard drive attached to my Nucleus, but outside of the house. Now if you're thinking I can already stream Tidal and Qobuz outside of the house, know that Roon also integrates its own playlist selection. It also integrates Roon Radio, which runs on Roon ARC as well. I did double check this yesterday. I have tested it. That means that when the current playlist has run its course, then Roon will use an AI algorithm to start playing similar sounding songs. For me, this is the #1 way that I discover new music. And I was using it yesterday, and I discovered an album by a dub techno outfit called Fluxion from '99. Fantastic. But crucially, that hard drive full of songs that's attached to my Roon Nucleus now becomes the source of a private streaming service just for me. So when I'm out in the street, I can stream anything from it to my phone. And if you think you've heard me enthuse about this kind of thing before, you would be correct, because I made a video a couple of years ago about Plex and Plexamp, which offers similar functionality. But the reason I'm excited about this development with Roon is I can now park the MacBook Air M1 that I was running Roon on and Plex on, so I was running both of those server software apps across the same library. I can park that now because I was only running the M1 so I could run Plex as well on top of Roon. Now that can be put to one side and I can just use Roon ARC in tandem with the Roon nucleus to listen to music wherever I am in the world and pull it from the hard drive that's attached to that nucleus, but also Tidal and Cobas. And just like Plexamp, Roon ARC allows us to choose from 4 different streaming audio quality settings. So we can have like a maximum setting, which obviously uses a lot of bandwidth, and the very sort of highly compressed lossy setting, which uses not very much bandwidth at all. They're using the Opus codec for that, for streams from the hard drive. But if we're streaming from Tidal and Cobas, those settings will tell Tidal or Cobas what stream to send to us from its own selection, if you see what I mean. Because Tidal doesn't use Opus, neither does Cobas. And that's invaluable to anybody who's very, very aware of the amount of data they use on their mobile phone. Because not all of us have unlimited data plans on our phones, especially not in Germany. Like I've got 2 phones, one of them has a 20 gigabyte limit per month. The other one has a 12 gigabyte limit per month. So I'm only up for about 32 gigs. So I can't really stream a lot in CD quality out in the street before I hit that limit. But now comes Roon ARC's killer feature, at least for me, in that it allows us to offline any album in its downloads folder. So basically pull it from the server and store it on the phone temporarily, just like you would do with the Tidal app or the Cobas app. But this is important. You can't offline content from Tidal or Cobas inside the Roon ARC app. Why not? It's because the music labels won't allow it. But that doesn't really bother me, because if I want to do that, I'll use the Cobas app or the Tidal app. What I'm interested in is all the CD rips and the downloads that I have on the hard drive, which is attached to my nucleus, and being able to stream those out in the street, but also offline them to my phone before I leave the house, or find a cafe with a Wi-Fi network and offline them there, so that I'm not using my own mobile phone data. So if I head outside of the house and I want to listen to the new Brett Morgan, David Bowie movie soundtrack album, which is fantastic, I'll probably just do that using the Tidal app. I might offline it here before I go out, or I might just stream it in the street, depending on how rich I'm feeling with my data plan at that particular time. But I can't do that with the KLF's Chill Out, because it's not on streaming services. I can't do that with the original master of Mind Bomb, because it's not on streaming services. I can't do that with my vinyl rip, obviously, of the Future Sound of London's Accelerator. And I can't do that with American Music Club's United Kingdom. But I can using Roon ARC, because those albums are stored on the hard drive that's attached to my nucleus, my Roon core. So I can stream them out in the street directly, or I can offline them in this house before I head out for the day. Do you see what I mean about this being my own private streaming service? Now at this stage, ARC is very new and it's not perfect. A couple of things I'd like to see improved over time is the download button. It's too small and I think it's in the wrong place. I think it needs to be made bigger, clearer, and put next to the Play Now button. I would also like to see the 4 quality settings applied to offline downloads as well. Because at the moment, as it stands, when you offline an album, you have to just accept it to your phone in its native quality. So most of my stuff, pretty much 99.99% of it on that hard drive, is FLAC. Most of it is CD quality FLAC. There is a smattering of high res, but not too much. I mainly use ROON ARC with Bluetooth headphones, or that's what I've used so far. But obviously I could connect a dongle DAC and a pair of wired headphones to either of my phones and then use that to listen to music through ARC in the street. Alternatively, I could download the ARC app to a portable player like an iBasso or an Aston & Kern and then use that as my music source out in the street, because ROON ARC is available for iOS and Android. Now I get it, ROON is not cheap, especially if you buy the lifetime plan, even though I think that represents the best value in the long term. However, a monthly subscription to ROON is no different to a monthly subscription from Spotify. Now, if you've got not very many songs on your hard drive, you might not see the value in this. But if you've got a hard drive full of thousands and thousands of songs, you could effectively cancel Spotify and just use ROON ARC in its place. And you'd have higher quality streams as well, if you wanted to. You'd definitely have higher quality download content. But of course, you don't need to take my word for it. You can try it for yourself and see if ROON is right for you, because there is a free trial available through their website. So you can listen for yourself. I'm just here to make you aware of what's possible now from ROON 2.0 and the associated ROON ARC app. Because I think for me, this is the biggest development since ROON Radio that ROON have ever given us. And I love the fact that I can take ROON ARC with me and stream out in the street wherever I am. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I'm going to spend 6 days in Spain. I'm taking ROON ARC with me so I can stream to wherever I am in Spain from that server over there. But equally, I could just as easily take my phone to a friend's house and then use ROON ARC as the source for a Bluetooth stream to their hi-fi system, or if they let me onto their Wi-Fi network, I could use AirPlay as well. So there are many possibilities with ROON ARC, which haven't really explored in totality myself. So this is new stuff. I think it's very exciting. If you think it's exciting and you like this video, please give us a like down below. If you like my attitude towards high-end audio, because this really is kind of a high-end audio thing, ROON. It's not for everybody, but I think the people who see the value in it, like me, like Olaf, really see the value in it. And this is an extra, I mean, let's not forget, this is a free upgrade, right? This is a huge new free feature. You don't have to pay extra for this. ROON is the same price as it was last year, and you get ROON ARC with your subscription now. So it's great to see ROON adding value over time. So if you dig that and dig my attitude to that, then please consider subscribing to this channel. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. I've got a really good vinyl rip of the future sound of London. Now, if you're thinking, well, I can already stream ROON, oh God. So it just corresponds to whatever selection, what am I saying that? So if I want to listen to the new David Bowie movie soundtrack example,